I'd say because we're lunatics and because we love music and we don't care, we just believe in a better world and we go for it.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the music content category. I'm super excited to be with Ivet. She's the Chief Content Officer at MonkingMe. Ivet, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
The reason why we're having this conversation, we looked at well over 140 companies in what we think are in the music content category. It's a really an interesting space to be in. We already have some very large players that a lot of people in the music streaming and music content service see today. But one of the companies that was, I think, really innovative in their, not only in their approach of how they provide and distribute music to their user base, but that experience is quite unique, I think. And their also approach of bringing on artists into the platform and really catering to the musicians in the industry and giving them an outlet where they can connect with their fans in a different way through a streaming platform is quite unique. And I don't think I've seen it anywhere else. And it's fantastic to have MonkingMe in this conversation. And I'd love to dive into the product itself and learn a little bit more about how you built the platform and some of the features that you have. But before we get into questions, I think, Ivet, it'd be great if you could give an introduction so the audience at least has a baseline understanding of who's MonkingMe. And I think you have a visual as well. And then we'll get into it. Sounds good?
Sounds perfect. Basically, MonkingMe is like a music platform. What we do is we leverage a token which serves to monetize better the ad-supported market. What that means is that our users can have a premium experience for free, and then they just have to interact with ads, and then they get rewarded with those rewards, which are in forms of tokens. They can after spend them to access premium features such as listening offline. That's the main idea. And yeah, we are pretty innovative. I'd say like we are a platform that looks for younger targets that cannot spend a premium subscription or people that just doesn't want to, right? We appeal to those users and we monetize them better.
A really interesting approach to the platform, especially how you guys use tokens. Before I get into the features that you offer to your user base, I'm curious, is there a backstory about why MonkingMe started?
Yeah, it actually started in 2014, which means piracy was like a huge thing back then. And we started with the mindset of not banning piracy, but to make it unnecessary. So we didn't want to punish people, but we wanted to make really like a good option for people to listen to music for free in a legal way. That's the backstory of our platform.
I like how you mentioned that, where you're not trying to punish people for trying to consume content or music content. You're making it unnecessary. That's a good point. Because why I thought MonkingMe was one of the very interesting music streaming companies is because you are a platform compared to others that offers offline listening, unlimited skips, no interruptions. You can listen to millions of songs for free. And I think what's from an outside in, you're like, well, how is this possible? My question to you is like, how is this possible? How do you give that type of content and that experience to allow your user base to listen to so much content essentially for free?
Yeah, in a nutshell, what we really did is look at the gaming industry and adopting their ways of monetizing, right? So what they do is they have tokens in the gaming industry. It's really common to see gems, tokens, prizes, and people is really used to interact with that. So we got that and we bring it to the music industry, and that's how we can do it. Basically, it's what I mentioned before. Our users have a section where they can binge eating, and then they get rewarded with binge eating, interacting with brands, and then with those tokens then can access premium features. That's like, it's a balance. Instead of placing, for example, interruptive ads like other platforms and annoy people, we encourage them to earn it first and then spend it later.
I wanted to know that right balance between what is the giving them access to free usage, but also guiding them through brands. You, as opposed to, I guess, your platform, you guys are actually, as opposed to stopping the music, you're more or less pushing your user base to say, okay, you'll have to start earning more tokens in order to continue to play or use the premium features the way you'd like.
It's not having friction at the beginning, but having it when the user has experienced the full potential of the app, right?
It feels like, especially for this approach, having, and you're right, this is what you see a lot in the gaming space as well. And I think that's really interesting inspiration. What is the right balance between the right content or the right amount of like ad serves or brands that they have to interact with versus how much content they can be served for free or premium features they can access?
Yeah, it really depends on the user and how they interact with music. For example, if you want to listen to for a month of without ads, then you'll have to earn 1,000 tokens, which is a lot. But yeah, we have like different offers for users to interact with brands, and then they can. It's like an a la carte service where they can choose what they want to watch and what they want to spend. If not, they will get interrupted. If they don't have enough tokens, they will have interruptive ads, which they can skip if they do have tokens. But it's like the user can build its own experience here.
I like this concept. It feels like just generally in the media space, there's two really larger trends. One, giving users more control of their experience, and two, but also finding ways to subsidize content that it can access for free without actually having to pay for content. And it's paying for content is a really challenging subject in every category. It's everyone wants content for free. Can't blame them. It's just the behind the users. It's really seems like everyone is trying to figure out what's to get that content, and if they don't get the content they'd like, then it can turn into going towards illegal content. But I like that you guys have this approach of saying, let's not make illegal content necessary. Let's give the users in control about how they interact with the platform and how they give them the option about how they're going to access great features, which I think is unique in how you guys approach this. I'm curious from your perspective, as a music streaming platform dedicated to consumers, what are the features that really drive the most engagement on your platform? Is it the content itself, just having great songs? Or is it like the way in which users can access premium features or the different premium features?
I'd say it's a mix because it depends really, for example, on the geos or the countries. There are some countries where the data access is not as available as in other countries. So for those users, the ability to have offline songs for free is really something valuable because they can download when they have internet and then they just have it there. And for others, it's the music content, because they, for example, have data unlimited or whatever, and they want just to feel the experience and have like different, I don't know, they don't like the streaming platforms that there are available, because we have to think that the younger generations is what you were saying just now, that they don't understand how they have to pay for music. It's like, it's content, it's out there, I've always seen it for free, why do I have to pay? Or at least when they're younger, after they grow up, then they realize which is fair to pay, right?
It definitely seems like this balance of figuring out how to give users what they want, which is unlimited content and premium content for free and premium experiences for free, being able to balance it with a way to say, give the option to everything. But at the same time, we're slowly going to find ways in which we can still keep our platform sustained so that way you can continue to have these experiences. And for you guys, this gaming approach, utilizing virtual currency, I think it's bananas, right? Banana tokens, and giving the users the option to interact with brands to access premium features, I think is fantastic.
There's an interesting point there, that there's a lot of music lovers that at the beginning don't want to pay for music, but they are really fans of some artists and they are willing to spend money on getting memorabilia, merchandising, all kinds of stuff from those artists. So that they don't pay for music doesn't mean that they will not pay for any other stuff from their favorite artists. So what we try to do is really capture those fans and really make an approach for fans and really help them connect to their artist.
Actually, that's a perfect transition, because one of the other things that stood out to me as a music streaming platform is you talk about how your goal is to really be the platform that pays the most for the musicians that are on your platform. And what I've seen is that you already mentioned that it's not just paying. I'm assuming there's some form of rev share with the artists on the streams based on the advertising, but you give the artist the option to do what I think most content creators are doing today, which is being able to buy merchandise, be able to buy content, and you have that in your platform.
It is because right now, if someone is fan, they truly want to express their fandom. And in other platforms, the journey from being a fan to buy, for example, something from the artist is artificial. The user has to go out of the platform, has to look many places and then get the thing or the merchandising, whatever it is. We try to implement it, do it in the app, so it's a seamless transition. And we are actually working to do more stuff in that line and also help the fan be the best fan. If you want to buy something, just buy it. We will break down the barriers there and make sure that everyone can be express their fandom whenever they want.
It's interesting because this general trend, and you're seeing it in a couple different categories and like different media formats, is catering towards the content creators more, giving them more control on either how they monetize their content, distribute their content, or ways they can connect with your audience. And I think you're one of the few streaming platforms that taken that and really embrace that and said, musicians, streams are great, but it's not the only way in which they can actually support their art. And there are many other formats in which they can sell merchandise or ways in which people can buy some of their other things that they can buy from the artist that really is going to support them. And I think probably the user would be willing to pay for. And I think having that experience in the app directly is fantastic, as opposed to what you said, looking at the artist, oh, this is great. Maybe trying to find him on Instagram. Maybe he's got his website there, or link to another website, and seeing if he does have something. And there's normally, you're not going to see self-promotion of websites directly on streaming platforms. So it's really cool that you have that. The other thing that I'm curious about is you talked about you pay out more than other applications. So what do you mean by that?
By that, we mean that since we are a free platform and there are a lot of low or like poor monetized platforms on the free side, we all know the $9.99 a month. That's a standard, that it's like the premium side. But on the free side, people do not monetize well, right? With that equilibrium and with the tokenomics, we bring that up because we, as I said before, we don't have as much friction to enter, and then we are better to retain them. And instead of annoying them with interruptive ads, we have the token, which enables us to have that economy inside the app, which pays better for free streams.
I think the beauty of this for an artist is that being on a platform that everyone can access, you're really capturing that discoverability feature, as opposed to putting up a barrier to your content right away. But then knowing that even if it's in the free realm of applications that offer their content for free, they're still making money from that in a way they probably haven't before. Interesting. I have to ask you, because you seem like you really allow the artists to connect with their audience in ways, not only selling merchandise. It seems like you almost have a profile as an artist on your platform, and people can follow you. Do you guys see yourself turning into having a social network or social aspect to MonkingMe Long?
I'm glad you asked that because we have really exciting features coming out. I cannot unveil much, but yeah, you're totally right. We're going towards that direction. We, as I said, we believe that there's so many things to do in the area of connecting fans to artists, and we are willing to explore them. Yeah. So keep an eye on us because exciting things are coming up. Yeah.
Cool. I had this general sense that this could be a direction, and I think it'd be a fantastic direction, being an enabling artist to really connect with their fans in a way that makes sense, as opposed to starting with the social network that it's just artists and it's you're starting from the music streaming platform, which is where everyone consumes music today, and then building.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
In addition, I'd say that right now in the Western world, we have a lot of big players or a few big players that are just a tool, right? They lean back, they just give you the music and that you can enjoy it as much as you want. You lock the screen and forget about it. We believe that if we want to make a difference, we want to lean in and connect with the people and explore those paths.
I know you can't say too much now because it's
Yeah.
but I'm excited for the roadmap that you guys ahead of you. I'm just curious because one of the things that I thought was also interesting is that you allow anyone to upload music to your platform. I think it's a great approach, to be honest with you, versus trying to continuously keep it locked down. But how do you manage like quality, or is content quality become an issue when you have open up the ecosystem to anyone uploading music?
Yeah, to be honest, we had that feature at the beginning. Well, we still have it, but it made a lot of sense at the beginning because we were contacting artist by artist to convince them, and we pitched our product and tried to get artists on board. But right now, we soon realized that wasn't gonna make it because there's thousands or millions of artists out there. So we started signing deals with distributors and labels, and we're getting most of, I'd say 99.9% of our content from deals and from distribution deals. But we still have that open because if there's some amateur artist that wants to upload it, he can or he or she can upload it and just put their music out there. But it's true that from a metadata and reporting perspective, it's harder because we have to do it manually. But the thing right now, we don't have that many artists that upload their music directly.
I think it's a challenging position to be in because having content is great. Managing the content that you would like to give to your audience is hard because you almost have to be cautious about audio that you put on your platform because it could be. It doesn't mean that all content is great. Some of it can be. You can have some people that just upload stuff that's not music, and that could be an issue too. But I know, interesting, really interesting. And so your monetization approach has really been focused on this combination of utilizing engagements or ways users can interact with brands, and then at the same time building out kind of a marketplace that allows individuals to purchase content or merchandise from brands.
Yeah.
Is this the monetization strategy you think that is long-term sustainable for music streaming and the right approach for being able to also find that balance between free content and unlimited features?
I don't know if we are in the right spot here. We have in the short to mid-term new monetization strategies that we're gonna launch soon. But yeah, that definitely is a way to start. And yeah, I believe we've succeeded, or at least we're like alive. And yeah, I believe it's a point to start, but definitely it's not the end.
I want to take a step back from the product a little bit and ask you more general questions just to get your thoughts on the music streaming and music content category as a whole. From the outside in, it feels like there's been some really large, dominant music streaming platforms that exist today. And they leave, I think, very little room for music streaming platforms or new ones to emerge. Why did you guys take on this challenge to go after this space? Why did you want to compete with some of these large music streaming platforms?
I'd say because we're lunatics and because we love music and we don't care. We just believe in a better world and we go for it. That's if we didn't have that, we wouldn't still be here. But on the other side, we truly believe that there's like a segment of people that those platforms are not looking at and that we can connect to them, especially younger generations, Gen Z. They see Spotify from something that their parents use. They are, we believe, ready to move on. And that's why we're here and where we step in. And also from the other side, for example, YouTube free or classical YouTube doesn't monetize better. We doesn't monetize well. So we believe there's like a place there for us to capitalize that and really make the difference.
I could see that. I feel like there is a gap between having access to content that you would like and an experience that you'd like to be able to control with an audience that probably doesn't want to pay for music. But even on the flip side, thinking of the bigger picture, I really like this. You guys are this platform that's really thinking about how you can enhance that experience between the artists and the consumer and experimenting with that in a way which I think is really cool. I'm curious, just because I have to ask, we've through this past year, we've gone through an interesting event. The pandemic has affected every industry in really different and unique ways. I was just curious, has the pandemic at all changed or affected your industry or your company?
Yeah, I'd say that we've been very lucky because we are on the streaming side, which is not that affected. But on the whole, the live sector, for example, of the industry has really seen the consequences. And I believe right now it's like the best moment to rethink how the music business work and how the digital strategy can help cover for those losses that the live events have suffered. I think that we really like the streaming side has to step up and come with better and new monetization strategies.
I think especially and I think this is everyone's experienced this, where you've gone through a moment where you realize you can't have in-person live experiences anymore, and really making and taking seriously this digital realm and digital products that allow you to connect with your audience through a different channel, and taking those much more seriously. I can see how that's more, especially a lot of artists looking at this in a much bigger way. I have one last question, Ivet, and again, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate this. Where do you think the future of music streaming is going? And what do you see that most people don't?
I don't know if I have that thing that nobody's looking at, but I believe that in the lines of what I said during this conversation, younger generations want to feel heard and want to express themselves and be recognized. Like they do it with fashion, they do it with arts, they do it of course with music. There's like a way there, like we can help them express themselves, and right now it's not anyone is like capitalizing on that, so that's an opportunity that we really want to take. And also I'd say that the fandom or the fan has been like the value of the fan has been diminished, because before when someone bought a CD, for example, it was like a kind of expressing their fandom, like a way of expressing their fandom, because you had to make that active choice. I'm gonna go to the store, I'm gonna get it, and since I have it, that means that I'm more fan than anyone else. Right now, you just have a lot of music and you like a song for the price that you're paying. This is good for the $9.99 a month that I'm paying. That doesn't give fandom value or any bragging rights or anything. So bragging rights, like when you can say, I'm more fan than you because I know I have the CD, I have all the albums, I know all the lyrics, whatever. I think that people really are really looking for like show off, or that really looking to express themselves, and in the music sector they cannot do it right now. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it definitely makes sense. I think the biggest and overarching trend, I think, across every medium is finding ways to really enhance that experience of consuming content and connecting with content creators, with their fans. And it's interesting to see that a lot of other categories have really expanded the boundaries about how they can connect with other individuals. And music, especially for streaming, there's nothing,
Yeah.
absolutely nothing. And it seems like this would be a fantastic opportunity to connect with users in a different way, beyond just trying to make enhanced sound features or just more quantity of music. And music tastes for individuals are very unique. Nobody owns the distribution channels anymore, and there's so much interesting content. So it's interesting. No, I agree 100%. I think it's really cool. With that, Ivet, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. Before I close out, did you have any other things that you'd like to share, announce, or any asks that you have of the audience?
As I said, just keep an eye on us because we have exciting things coming. On the other side, we will be looking, and we started conversations with VCs to close a Series A after we close the first major record label deal. And after that, we're gonna have to really push our growth strategies. So it's a good moment to talk.
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I really appreciate it. Again, for the audience, why we had this conversation, we looked at over 140 companies that we think are considered a part of the music content category. I don't think anyone really takes on that bold strategy to go after some of the largest music streaming services, but the company that stood out to us the most was MonkingMe, and for two very big reasons. One, understanding and realizing that a lot of individuals, especially the younger generation, want to be able to consume content for free within a control that's manageable in a way that they can, an experience that they can control and enjoy. And I think that having this unique token brand engagement approach is a very unique strategy in that. And then the second, which I think is some of the more and maybe the later exciting features, but also building on your monetization strategy, is this idea that you're leaning into this idea where there is so much more that especially music streaming platforms can do with connecting both the artists and the users. And that's not just allowing artists to sell content that's beyond just music, and that's merchandise, etc. But I think in the future, it could be a lot of social features in that as well, which we can't announce. But I think that is a fantastic strategy and a really interesting thing in the music streaming services, which is why I think MonkingMe is one of the best ones. So thank you so much, Ivet, for having this conversation. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.